Mr. Haley was a genuine, kind man. He made you feel special no matter who you were, what status you were in. All of us come from somewhere. All of us have an heritage. And he wanted to give that information, and he started doing all of his research, and that made it where we all can then do our own research.
This is more than a house, more than a story. This is where ordinary moments became legacy. Born in Ithaca, New York in 1921, Alex Haley spent his formative years here in Henning, Tennessee.
Henning was a great community to grow up in and raise your family, because you knew everyone. You knew your barber, you knew the folks that worked at the bank, you knew everyone that lived here.
Raised by his grandparents in this small bungalow built from lumber milled by his grandfather, Will Palmer, it was here that Alex found stories, faith, and family.
He lived here for 8 years, and after that, when he went back to Ithaca, New York with his parents, he spent summers here with his grandparents.
He was like a normal kid here in Henning. He played in the mud, he walked on the dirt roads, he caught fireflies in the jars.
In the kitchen, you'll see where Alex sat listening to his grandmother's stories. In the dining room, a lace tablecloth and fine china hint at a family that honored tradition. In the music room, hear echoes of his mother's piano, a melody that once poured onto the porch as neighbors gathered to listen.
He loved spending time, especially with his grandmother, Cynthia, and after dinner each night, the ladies would gather on the front porch, get in their rockers. They would tell stories of long ago. He used those stories to later in years develop his book, Roots.
Alex said that he wrote best when he was on water. He used that time to collect his thoughts.
At just 17, Alex enlisted in the Coast Guard. During his 20 years of service, he began to write. He even gained the title of chief journalist in the Coast Guard.
While Mr. Haley was in the Coast Guard, he was a cook on the ship. But he also would notice that other people on the ship, his shipmates, did not get mail. So he started writing letters for them, and that's somewhat what started him in his writing career.
Throughout his journalism career, including groundbreaking work for magazines like Reader's Digest and Playboy, Haley interviewed cultural giants, Miles Davis, Quincy Jones, Johnny Carson, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., just to name a few. And what started as letters for fellow sailors evolved into a voice that would echo across generations and mediums, from magazines, print, books, television, and film. Make no mistake, at the time, his writing was an opportunity to write about topics that weren't often popular: Black culture, racism, and sometimes controversial leaders.
Didn't you think nothing about me?
About you, Fiddler?
Yeah, me. Me. You go running off in the hills, you know what's gonna happen to me? I get to sleep on a mud floor. I get to eat what the pigs won't eat.
Alex Haley's words changed the world. Through articles, interviews, and 2 genre-defining books, he opened doors to truths rarely acknowledged in mainstream culture. First, with the autobiography of Malcolm X, a deeply human account of transformation and truth. Then with Roots, a Pulitzer Prize-winning story that traced Haley's ancestry back to Kunta Kinte, a man captured from a village near the River Gambia in West Africa in 1767 and enslaved in America.
You know, he took 12 years to do that research. He did it by hand, and he did it by rote, and he did it by the hard work, and it did have an impact on this world.
Everyone was wanting to say what he said. Roots was the catalyst for family reunions and revitalizing, trying to discover your lineage, your history, your genealogy.
I truly believe that he was the start of the genealogy movement. I know after that it seemed like everybody wanted to know who their ancestors were. It defined a different way that we looked at history.
So Roots was so important then and still is, because people are still coming to this site today to learn more about who they are and from whence they come.
The items being offered for defects and
When Roots aired, over 130 million people watched. Schools, churches, families across America and beyond began asking questions about their own roots. It became appointment television for people all over the United States. Back here in Henning, inside this house, it all comes full circle. Today, your journey continues at the Alex Haley Interpretive Center, just steps away from the home where his legacy began. Here you can trace the transatlantic journey of Haley's ancestors, explore the research behind Roots, and participate in live genealogy workshops that help uncover your own family history.
One of the most moving moments that I've had since I've been here was when there was a young man. He was about 11 years old. Took a tour of the home, and he was just so thrilled to go through the home and see all the artifacts. At the end of the tour, as we walked back to the Interpretive Center, he stopped me. He said, "Wait a minute." He said, "I just enjoyed that so much. I need to do something for you." He reached in his pocket. He brought out some juicy fruit gum. And he had one stick left. He looked at me, he looked at the juicy fruit gum, and he gave it to me. He said, "This is all I have to give you, but I just have to give you something." I still have that stick of juicy fruit gum. It meant so much to me that he would think enough of that tour and of me to leave me with his last piece of juicy fruit gum.
I grew up in New Jersey. My father.
As a former educator of 32 years, education is paramount in my life. I believe that everyone needs to learn something about history, and more specifically about who they are and where they come from. And once they do that, they develop an interest in knowing more about other people.
This isn't just a museum, it's a mirror.
If Alex Haley walked in, he would be excited to know that his dream was alive.
Later on in life, Mr. Haley found a saying that he loved, and that saying was, "Find the good and praise it." He would continue to walk through these doors, and he would still be in remembrance of the love that was shown, the love that was shared, and he would still just say, "Find the good and praise it." And that is what these walls still today present.
And just like Alex Haley, your journey begins with one question: where do I come from? Your story begins here.